never been down with no OPP. I talk about selling our people's property. Y'all know who doing it, so don't round me out. Don't send no police round me and tell me shush my mouth. Where's our conviction? But where's our pride? We selling everything, selling our backside. Just go online, it'll make you sick. You can buy any island, just point and click. See, they're selling our country, yes, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our hey, hey. Ride him. My mother always say, when you find a donkey, ride it. Who's the donkey? What? Come on. We got a whole nation in 73. Now we getting back the whole country. What kind of fools we must be, selling out for a bag of rice and a cup of tea. You know what does bug me? Help me understand. I can't find piece of property for under 80 grand, but I can fix this. I know what to do. I can squat just like them other people try make me do. See, they're selling our country, yes, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our they're selling our country. They're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our everybody sells some every day. Giddy up, giddy up. Come on. Oh, donkey. Boy, donkey. Let's go. Who's the donkey again? They're selling one island. He away one key. What can be left for you and me? Is this the example? What's our kids to do? You want them have a sense of pride, or go selling too? Cause they're selling our country, yes, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our they're selling our country, yes, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling our whole country. Ooh, they're selling our they're selling our country, yes man. They're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling our whole country. Ooh, they're selling our they're selling our country, yes. They're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling
Whoa, girls, we out doing
this. The only thing I would say in respect to the matters of immigration is that a series of questions are being asked of me in the House of Assembly. And it is on Wednesday, which is the question time, that I will appropriately answer all questions thoroughly, substantively, and put this thing to rest once and for all. Thank you very much.
Was the sustained nature placed on leave?
Thank you.
Are you able to say what those irregularities were?
For me. All right, thanks, eh?
Shake hands, shake hands.
I believe in the setup here. Let's go.
Provide. What is this? Is this some kind of freebie for all?
Free for all.
Well, if it's a freebie, then give me my tax money back.
Because you're not paying for this.
Why should we pay for that? I don't pay for that myself.
Let me ask you this question. This was something that happened a few weeks ago. We had the Shards Day Affair from Haiti, the Haiti Shards Day Affair.
I think I spoke about it on somebody called me from the Guardian.
Yes, you did. And I want to get
his name was Jasper Ward.
One of the best we've got.
And I told her what I said about him. He was out of water.
And for the record, for those who aren't aware, with that story, of course, the Shards Day Affair has stated that the government should be more merciful, more humanitarian, and not to halt deportations.
Yes, and they're talking about the state of Haiti
and
at the
rather
moment.
Regularize.
And they're telling us we must accept people who break our laws coming in, who break other laws staying here, who claim that they're not even going to try and get work permits because they're busy trying to earn a living here illegally, but they care nothing about our laws. They don't try to speak our language. They pretend they don't understand. And when they want to come out of a danger zone, they stay and pretend they didn't know. And then they lie and say nobody told them, and they knew they were told. Why would I make special provisions for these people who have no respect for truth, justice, honesty, integrity? Why? And why are we, the Bahamas, supposed to carry the burden of 11 million Haitians on our $200,000 back? We didn't create the problem in Haiti. If anybody created it, it's the wider world, not us.
Very true.
So please, and be gracious, we are friendly, we will help, but don't go too far.
Are they going too far?
They are going too far. They are too presumptuous. You do not bite the hand that feeds you, because then you find out what that hand is capable of. The United Nations representative talking stupidness about us. Why don't they tell America to take in more? Why don't they tell Jamaica to take in more? Jamaica has more land area than us. They have more population, can absorb more than us. Why don't they tell Trinidad and Tobago to take in more than us? The only country I would say is about similar size to us in terms of population is Barbados.
That's right.
Why don't they do that? Why don't they send them to Guyana, where there's lots of land, lots of trees, rich land, fertile land, and the Guyana is the size of England, much bigger than anybody's else. Why don't you send them there?
Do you agree with the administration's position as it is?
Which administration?
This administration, as in regards to immigration right now? Are you supportive of the stance that we will continue business as usual?
As far as I'm concerned, the government is put in place to enforce the laws. That's one of their duties as the executive. If they enforce the laws humanely, I have no problem.
And do you believe we're enforcing it humanely?
As far as I'm concerned, I believe so. I don't like lies, and I don't like people pretending to be truthful when they're not. There was a fellow on the radio carrying the Bahamas to war about how we are allegedly mistreating Bahamians, Haitians. That is so far from the truth. He's Jamaican, but he's living in Jamaica, but he couldn't tell you how many Haitians are in Jamaica.
Interesting.
Are there any Haitians in Cuba? Are there any Haitians in Dominican Republic on the same island? They have rivers, they have fresh water, they have land. Compared to us, we are minuscule in terms of
So why did they come to us?
Because we are so welcoming and so kind-hearted, and we practice hospitality.
And we give them their jobs.
And we give them jobs because we're lazy and we won't do the jobs that we give them to do.
You're listening to the Hit Back with Nahaja Black, Dame June Sawyer.
Did you really call me for this?
Yes,
today?
I did. And it's not over. We got all kind of time left, Dame. 323-6232, 325-4316. 325-4259. Feel free to text us as well at 422-4796. That's 422-4796. We'll take a quick break. Let me come back more with the Dame.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. Of course, we're going to start over. And thank you to all of our producers from around the world, our remote producers from around the world. Thank you for always making sure that we get it right in studio. Ladies and gentlemen, we always love spending our Sundays with you. Today is going to be a blockbuster. We have some information to reveal to all of you. And to some of you, it's going to be surprising. And to some of you, it won't be surprising. To some of you will be shocked. And to some of you, you won't be shocked. Because we're going to reveal information about Keith Bell and about Chester Cooper. And basically about the PLP itself as it relates to the scandals that are going on in immigration. Now, what we saw that the Progressive Liberal Party decided that they wanted to do what they have become accustomed to doing. Pintar decided to do his good Lincoln impersonation and tried to reveal some information. And what they did was they tried to do a press conference at 4 o'clock before We revealed our information at 5 o'clock, hoping that that would give them some traction. The F&M is clearly desperate right now because there is no traction there, because people don't see them as genuine, and people also see them as a part of the problem. They are a part of the problem that has led to the situation that we are dealing with immigration. But I want the Bahamian people to focus. I want the Bahamian people to focus on what is really going on. The F&M, someone said to me that the F&M is calling people to come stand with them on this Keith Bell issue. That Keith Bell must go. Stand with them on the Keith Bell issue. And I said to someone, even as late as today, that I will not be there with the F&M on the Keith Bell issue. And the person said, why wouldn't you be there with the F&M on the Keith Bell issue? I said, the reason that I won't be there with the F&M on the Keith Bell issue is because the F&M should be standing up and protesting as it relates to our immigration issue. Have you noticed that the F&M is not protesting about the proliferation of shanty towns in this country? They're not protesting about the proliferation of the invasion of our shores in this country. They're not asking the government to do something about it. Ladies and gentlemen, wake up and see what's going on. They are not interested in the immigration issue. They are making this a political issue by only dealing with Keith Bell. We have been out there standing with Bahamians. Ms. Curry is one of them, whose property was stolen, taken away by these people, and several other Bahamians who experienced the same thing. We have been out there on the field fighting with them, standing with Bahamians whose property were being taken. Not a peep, not a word from the Free National Movement and their puppet leader. So why would I stand with you to get rid of Keith Bell, which must happen, I fully agree, when you are not standing for the real issue? The real issue that our country is under invasion. No word from the F&M on this invasion. Only word about Keith Bell making this a political issue. We are another generation. We are not our parents' generation. We're not interested in the tomfoolery. We called on all parties a couple of weeks ago to stand with us, with reference not only to Keith Bell in that situation, but also to the immigration issues that we have in this country. And so when the F&M decides that they're going to stand with us to go and expose what's happening with the shanty town, no word from them on that. To expose the invasion of our country, no word from the F&M on that. Then we can talk. The truth of the matter is, and I have to be strong before I release these documents, including voice recordings of Keith Bell, we're going to show the F&M how it's done. Dr. Miles said to me, the copy can never be as good as the original. No matter how much you do a copy, no matter how much you certify it and stamp it, it's not as good as the original. And Michael Pintard, you will never be as good as the COI, trying to copy the COI. If you are Her Majesty's loyal opposition, go and be Her Majesty's loyal opposition. We're going to tell you how to do that in a minute. But we are the real opposition. Let me get to that. Michael Pintard, we do not want protests from Her Majesty's royal/loyal opposition. That's not what we want from you. We want what we are paying you for, Michael Pintard. You are making yourself look desperate by sneaking in a press conference and a live at 4 p.m. knowing that we were going live at 5. Don't you think the whole country sees how the desperation there? We don't want a protest from you. We want you to do what we are paying you to do. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason they don't want Lincoln being in the COI in the House of Assembly is because we know the power of members of parliament. We know the power, according to international law, of a real opposition. Michael Pintard and the F&M are the opposition, the official opposition, while we're the real opposition. They have the power to call for commissions of inquiry. Yes, commissions of inquiry can be called against the sitting government. The UBP was in power in the 50s when there was a commission of inquiry against the UBP. Remember? The PLP was in power in 1984 when there was a commission of inquiry against the PLP. How powerful was the UBP when they were in power in the 50s? How powerful was the PLP in Finland in the 80s, in 1984? Yet there were commissions of inquiries against them. And so instead of all of this talk and saying, let's go impersonate Lincoln and doing a protest, and the official opposition acts like an activist group, why don't you call for a commission of inquiry? Next, why doesn't the official opposition of this country actually file a judicial review? What's with all the talks? I didn't get to hear all of their press conference because we were getting ready for ours. But what's with all the talks? Why don't you file a judicial review, which only means suing the government? Why don't you file for a judicial review? Since you now know that there's illegalities that the other side did, why don't you file for all of these lawyers that are in the F&M? They would do this for free. All of the money that you say you have, all of the money that the F&M has been stealing from the Bahamian people for the last 50 years, why don't you participate? Why don't you give back to the Bahamian people by filing for judicial review? That's something else the opposition can do. Remember, the opposition is not an activist movement. We are paying them for this. We are paying them for this. Pintard is receiving up to $500,000 to do his job. $50,000 in salary, tens of thousands in perks and advantages. He's receiving the allowance for his constituency. He's receiving allowance for his office, and he's the office of the constituency, the office of the. He's receiving an allowance for the office of the loyal opposition. He's receiving almost $500,000 to do his job. And that's what we're asking them to do, to take this seriously, man. If you don't know what to do, step on the side. So we're giving you the ideas, not because we want credit for it, because the media is going to pretend like you release anything anyway. But we're going to give you the real information, and we're going to drop the real facts and ask you to do what we're paying you for. Stop pretending. Michael Pintard is the puppet of Fred Smith. Remember the murder for hire plot and when he had to step down, etc., as a senator. All right? You'll remember that Michael Pintard was working for Fred Smith in all of this. If Michael Pintard becomes the prime minister of this country, Fred Smith will run this country. Fred Smith funds Michael Pintard. So all of the little things you see him giving away in the constituency, etc., that's Fred Smith's money that he got from Louis Bacon. The whole thing with Louis Bacon versus Peter Nygaard, that was Fred Smith funding the F&M and funding Pintard directly. Wake up. Last thing I'm going to say about that. All right? Last thing I'm going to say about that. Someone asked me why Fred Smith is so adamant about this whole thing. Fred Smith was born in Haiti to a father who was a foreigner, a Lebanese, I think he is, and a mother who is a Bahamian, but born in Haiti. And so he has affinity to Haiti. And he's been fighting for them. And Pintard was one of his puppets for all these years. All right? And he still is. This is why Pintard is not fighting for our immigration issue. And I challenge you, Pintard, stand up and fight as relates to the invasion of this country, but you won't do that because you are a puppet of Fred Smith. What Pintard is doing now with these protests is the same thing that he did with the We March protests. Pintard was a founder of We March. Dr. Hubert Minnis couldn't get any traction in his early days in the F&M. The F&Ms weren't coming out to their rallies, et cetera, et cetera. And so Pintard, John Boswick, and Reynard Henfield created a plot to make it seem like there was this other movement outside, and this movement would be an independent movement, and they would galvanize people to come together and get people against the government, to stand up against the government. And then later, this movement would come and endorse the FNM, thus giving the FNM the power. So Reynard didn't sell out. This was the plan from the beginning, and Pintard was a part of the deception of the Bahamian people. Okay? That is what happened. And so this is a game for these people. And so we want a genuine war against the immigration problem. Not this fallacy of saying, oh, we're doing something because we're saying stuff about Keith Bell. No. Speak out against the invasion, the illegal immigrants who are taking our country over, and then we'll respect you. That is what we want to see. Not the fake, disingenuine concern. They're not concerned. All right? And so I will leave that there. And the reason I'm doing this is because we have been swung, I'll use that word, so much as a country that we have to wake up. The politics must end. It must end. The politics must end. It's time to wake up. And so we are going to deal with the real issues. And so now we're going to talk about Keith Bell, and then we're going to talk about our immigration problem and what's really going on. If y'all think for 1 second that Pintard is going to deal with our immigration problem, you got another thing coming. If you think he's going to address the immigration issues going on in this country, you got another thing coming. Y'all better wake up. That's all I have to say about that. All right? And so Pintard spoke to some people. Well, he says he spoke to some people at immigration. They released some information. But what we're going to do is we're going to release the real information. All right? And they mix up some of the information. And we're going to call names. All right? And we're going to show you documentation. And we're going to let you hear what's his name? Keith Bell himself. All right? So this all stemmed. Well, before I get into that, I am so sorry. I really got to do this before I get into that because there's some people who really mean a lot to us. I just got to say this first. I want to say a special happy birthday. I want to say a special happy birthday to Ms. Zenobia Adderley. She is one of our. Ms. Zenobia Ali is one of our executives, and she is one of our supporters. And we just want to say a special happy birthday. Her birthday was on Friday. We also want to say a special happy birthday to Miss Crystal Williams. Miss Crystal Williams, of course, is a warrior in Abaco, and we love and respect her. And she had a birthday yesterday. A happy birthday to you, Miss Crystal Williams, and God bless you. We also want to say a special happy birthday to the man that everyone knows, the gatekeeper himself. Gatekeeper, happy birthday to you. A special happy birthday. You are a true warrior, and you are ready for change. And we thank you for standing up for your country. We thank you for standing up for your country. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to let you hear from Keith Bell himself and what he did. I'm also going to let you hear the words of I'm going to let you hear the words of Keith Bell. I'm going to let you know the damage that he's been doing. All right, we're going to get straight to it. But first, let's Keith Bell.
The only thing I would say in respect to the matters of immigration is that a series of questions are being asked of me in the House of Assembly. And it is on Wednesday, which is the question time, that I will appropriately answer all questions thoroughly, substantively, and put this thing to rest once and for all. Thank you very much.
First name, major place on leave.
Thank you.
Are you able to say what those irregularities were?
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Keith Bell basically telling you how he's going to put this thing to rest. He's going to put this thing to rest one more time. I'm so sorry about that. One more time.
The only thing I would say in respect to the matters of immigration is that a series of questions have been asked of me in the House of
I can't take care of that again. Keith Bell is the things he said is disingenuous, and it's a lie. And we're going to show you how this is a lie. We have the proof. We have the evidence of everything. The evidence. Well, first of all, Keith Bell made a call. He made a call to the deputy director of immigration, who was dealing with an operation at the British Colonial Hotel. This deputy director, well, first he left a message, and that's the proof. And of course, he overpowered, and he basically said some things in that message that's going to blow your mind. It's going to contradict some things that he has said to the public. All right? Some things that he explained to the public is going to contradict that. And so we want to dissect this properly. We're going to show Pintard how it's done. Pintard, when you do this, you bring your receipts. You don't just talk. And so here's what we're going to do. What you are about to hear is Keith Bell leaving a message with instructions for the Deputy Director of Immigration. And in this message, he's telling her to stand down. And that he is not alone in this, because Keith Bell always call other people names sharp. Like when he was in the funeral, he said, I'm doing this on behalf of the Prime Minister and the Cabinet. Well, this time, he said, I'm doing it on behalf of Chester Cooper, who was the acting Prime Minister at the time. He's always acting Prime Minister because Brave Davis is never here. I want you to listen to this message. This is your Minister of Immigration illegally interfering with the actions of immigration officers.
Good night, Mr. Major Smith. This is Minister Bell. Give me a call, please. The acting Prime Minister has directed that we do not proceed against those Chinese at the Hilton Hotel. They got some BIA approval, and so they indicated to just allow them owner to verify everything tomorrow. Thank you. Good night.
Received January 17th at...
So, thanks to our friends at BTC, we are able to get the message that he left. I don't know why anyone would be calling me during my live. Thanks to our friends at BTC, we were able to get that message. And I want to dissect that message for you for a minute. Let's go through that message again. And I want you to see how it contradicts. It's shocking. Watch this.
Good night, Mr. Major Smith. This is Minister Bell. Give me a call, please.
He said, good night, Ms. Major Smith. That's the Deputy Director of Immigration. This is Minister Bell. Give me a call, please. He said, the acting Prime Minister directed, it's a lot of arms, that we do not proceed against those Chinese at the Hilton Hotel. Let's hear it.
Acting Prime Minister has directed that we do not proceed against those Chinese at the Hilton Hotel. They got some BIA approval, and so
he says they got some BIA approval. And so he indicated to just allow the owner to verify everything tomorrow. What does the Bahamas Investment Authority have to do with the powers of immigration officers? Nothing. So his word to her was that they got Bahamas Investment Authority approval. For what? That was his word to the Deputy Director of Immigration. That doesn't give them a right to have anybody in this country. And to just let them verify everything the next day. But there's a problem with that. So they got some BIA approval, and so he indicated to, this is Chester Cooper. Chester Cooper indicated to just allow the owner to verify everything the next day. Now, oh man, there's so much to touch on this. Then continue.
So he indicated to just allow the owner to verify everything tomorrow. Thank you. Good night.
Received.
There's some serious problems with this. I'm going to release that. That audio to the public. When I'm finished this live, it's going to be on WhatsApp and it's going to be on my Facebook page. And so the media, you know what they're going to do? They're going to pretend that Keith Bell released it, or they're just going to ignore it because I released it. But in any event, you have it. And you heard him implicating Chester Cooper. And so now Chester Cooper needs to answer as to whether Keith Bell was lying on him. The Bahamas Investment Authority needs to answer as to what's going on. And so not only does this audio implicate the PLP, because it's not just Keith Bell. He's not a rogue minister to say Keith Bell must resign. This implicates the acting prime minister of the country at the time, breaking the law. Okay. Now let's read the memo. This is called receipts. This is the actual memo. It says, reference to the Chinese nationals, the British Colonial Hotel. This memo was written from the director, not the deputy, from the director of immigration, Ms. Ferguson, to the permanent, to the permanent secretary as a complaint against the actions of the Minister of Immigration, only in the Commonwealth of Nadia. Listen, and before I go into this, someone asked me about whether we can release audio, etc., etc. Listen to me. This cause to save our nation is a cause to which I'm not only willing to be jailed, but I'm willing to die. Audio can be released in the public interest. This is in the public interest. That's the law. It can be released in the public interest. The law says that. I don't think there's any bigger public interest than this right now. Possible illegality by a minister and an acting prime minister. This is in the public interest. And if anyone has an issue with that, or because we know they don't follow the law, that's how people who are arrested out, on Goodman's Bay, etc. Listen, I'm willing to eat jail food for this, to save our country, because no one else is fighting for our country. So let's go to the memo itself. This is the memo. This is the memo. All right? So this is receipts. Reference is made to the apprehension exercise that was conducted on the 17th of January, 2023 at about 2,000 hours. That's 8 p.m. That's important to note because they said the people were working. We don't know that they were working. The government is trying to trick you and say that the people were working. But let me make this clear to you. And I want you to see my face when I say this. There were also females present. It was not just males. There were also females. One of them was doing the talking. She spoke English. She grabbed two other fellas who had passports, two of them, and said, well, two of them have passport. One of them was born in 1997. All right, and this will let the government know that we know, well, I could call the names with their names, it's just Asian names. Both of them were young people. The older of them was born in 1997. So young people. All right? And so there were also females present. That's important. That's important. Let's go back to the memo. At 8 o'clock at night, people were just around. They weren't working. They were around in the hotel. All of them looked terrified. It's according to reports from persons who were there. It says, January 17th, 2023, you heard the audio. At the end of it, it said it was recorded on January 17, 2023, at about 8 p.m. by the enforcement unit, acting on information received that a large group of Chinese nationals were being housed at the closed British Colonial Hotel. Remember, being housed. You see, this is the memo. Working or being housed. All right? Acting on information received that a large group of Chinese nationals were being housed at the closed British Colonial Hotel on Bay Street, the immigration officers found 65 persons. Of the 65 persons, only 3 were able to produce documents to prove their identity. 2 of them were passports. Directives were received from Minister. Now, wait, I want to stop there because we got to dissect this, Bahamian people. The report was not that these people were working. The report was that these people were being housed. Do you see the difference? All right? You hear them talking all this talk about work permits, and even the F&M as they gave their little COI impersonation. They were saying that they found them working. That is false information the F&M gave. They did not find them working. Construction workers don't work at 8 p.m. at night. But there are some construction sites that do 24 hours. This is not one of them. In fact, according to the immigration officers, no work was going on at the hotel at that particular time. They weren't doing work on the hotel at that time. Nonetheless, they did not find them working. The report was that they had these people housed there. Okay? So let's keep that important information as we continue. All right? Let's go back to the memo. This is how you dissect this. Directives were received from Minister Bell at about about 8:59. That's 2,059 hours. All right? 2059. That's 8:59. So 9 p.m. That's an hour later. To have the immigration officers stand down on the operation and that any breach will be remedied on the 18th of January, which means the next day. Minister Bell indicated that this request was made by acting PM Cooper. Okay? And you heard the message was also left, and then of course there was a subsequent conversation after that message. But the message is proof. So he can't say, well, no, I never did that. I don't know what you're talking about. Me and Cooper don't know anything about this. They're caught. While I am cognizant of the present economic climate, now this is immigration begging out to the government to say, what kind of nonsense is this? While I am cognizant of the present economic climate and the lack of jobs for Bahamians, I find it very disconcerting when directives of this nature are continuously received. So in other words, Keith Bell is always doing this. This is the Director of Immigration writing this to the Permanent Secretary. All right? They are constantly receiving directives to stand down and don't do their jobs. You see? They're constantly. This type of action is demoralizing to immigration officers in particular, who are trying to do their jobs as mandated by law. Further, this is a security breach as we do not have any idea who the remaining 62 persons are, nor how they entered our country. In addition, it begs the question of if trafficking in persons may be a factor in this instance. Let me pause there for a second. The concern that immigration department has is not just the illegal entry of these persons, the illegal presence of these persons. The concern that Department of Immigration raised with the government is that they felt this was an instance of illegal human trafficking. Because after Keith Bell and Chester Cooper freed these persons, they were never seen again. There were not 65 work permits issued the next day or on the day subsequent. Immigration never heard of this again, according to them. No applications came to them. It would have had to come to them. They did not process these people. They don't know who they are. These persons disappeared into the night. They were not working for anybody. This seems to be an instance of human trafficking. They were concerned that these were young people that could have been harvested for organs as sex slaves, males and females. That is the issue. But the media will not cover this tomorrow. They will cover what Pintard says in order to try to legitimize him and not touch the real issue. Immigration was worried that this could be an instance of human trafficking. After this was finished, they were almost convinced of that, because even though Keith Bell said that this thing was remedied, they don't know what he's talking about, because none of them saw any of these people again. They do not know of any work permits being issued for these people. Their biggest concern, ladies and gentlemen, was that there was no record of entry for any of those persons. If the company had brought them in, wouldn't they have brought them to an airport or on a boat? Wouldn't they have gone through some form of immigration? These persons just appeared in the hotel with no record of them entering, immigration said. There was no record of them entering the country. That's their biggest concern. So now how could you regularize them if there's no record of them entering the country? None of them. And 65 Asians, they don't know if they were Chinese, but they know that they were Asians. Because they had that. 65 Asians went missing afterwards, according to senior immigration officials. This trafficking was taking place across the street from the U.S. Embassy. The U.S. is terribly concerned about human trafficking. And it seems that our government is complicit. It doesn't seem. Our government is complicit because they let the people go. We are told that there were persons holding on to people's IDs. And we know that that is actually against the law as it relates to human trafficking law. Why were these people not in possession of their IDs, passports, whatever it is? Let's go back to the memo and then we will continue. I'll continue back from the beginning of that paragraph. While I am cognizant of the present economic climate and the lack of jobs for Bahamians, I find it very disconcerting when directives of this nature is continuously received. This type of action is demoralizing to the immigration officers in particular, who are trying to do their jobs as mandated by law. Further, this is a security breach as we do not have any idea who the remaining 62 persons are. So in other words, these persons were never regularized, nor how they entered the country. They have no record of them entering the country. In addition, it begs the question of if trafficking in persons may be a factor in this instance. It also appears that the expatriate has more rights in the Bahamas than Bahamians. Wow, they're saying this is the PLP government. It appears that foreigners have more rights in the Bahamas than Bahamians. This is an immigration official writing this official memo to the government. Moreover, this is also a show of disrespect to the chair of Director of Immigration. They're saying that the PLP government is disrespecting the Director of Immigration. This is a stern letter that we're going to release to the public when we finish this live. And of course, the media will say that Pintard released it. To this end, I believe that a better outcome would have been realized if officers were allowed to take the persons into custody on last evening and process the individuals so that we would have known who was in the group and possibly if anyone was being victimized or perhaps trafficked. Do you see what their concern was? That was their concern. Their concern was that this was an instance of human trafficking that was being facilitated by the Progressive Liberal Party's government. That's their concern. So this is the memo. So despite all of the nonsense and the lies that you heard Keith Bell say, this is the truth. And this is the facts. The Department of Immigration believes that this was an instance of human trafficking. They suspect that this was an instance of human trafficking, and the government of the Bahamas interfered. Chester Cooper and Keith Bell, if you're just tuning in, I'm going to let you hear Keith Bell again. And then think about the lies that he told the Bahamian public. Let's play it again.
January 17th at
Good night, Mr. Major Smith. This is Minister Bell. Give me a call, please. The acting Prime Minister has directed that we do not proceed against those Chinese at the Hilton Hotel. They got some BIA approval, and so we indicated to just allow them owner to verify everything tomorrow. Thank you. Good night.
received January 17th at
We're so sorry about the sound. Okay, sorry about the sound. Everything, our whole system froze up just now. Of course, that's interference, all right? We don't know what happened just now, but everything froze up. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to repeat what I said. What is so curious about that whole thing is that that thing happened at between 8 and 9 o'clock at night. How do you get in touch with the acting prime minister of a country at 9 o'clock at night? But he was home, laying next to his wife and watching Netflix, and he just answered the phone for you? How is it that it seems that foreigners have so much access to our government officials, but we don't? Do you remember Keith Bell said that the Haitian who was on his deathbed called him while he was away on official business and was able to get him to fast track a citizenship for himself? Like the director of immigration said, how is it that the expatriates seem to have more rights in our country than us? And we keep accepting this under the F&M and under the PLP. Who called Chester Cooper? Do any of you have that right? Should we call Chester now and see if he's going to answer the phone? What manner of nonsense is this? And so I agree with the director of immigration when she says that the expatriates seem to have more rights than Bahamians in our country. That they can call a member of parliament to say, stop the law officers from doing their job. That is unlawful and illegal and ultra-virus, and it is grounds for judicial review, which it seems that we're going to have to do. The law says that the director of immigration is in charge of immigration, not the prime minister, not the minister. Cabinet rules say that the government job is to deal with policy. Let me take a little break to explain some civics to you, because someone asked me, they said, you called for the PLP to step down, but who's going to be the interim government in the meantime while they step down? Is anyone prepared and in place to take over the government? And I had a quick, swift answer for her, and it was yes. I said the government won't blink. Let me help you with that. When Saul Kirshner stopped being in charge or in ownership of Atlantis, Atlantis didn't blink. They didn't close for a day. Nothing changed. Because there were already people in place with experience operating Atlantis. That was just some people at the top that changed. Let me help you understand. The role of a government, and that is those in Parliament. Parliament is the Queen, the House of Assembly, the Queen, the House, and the Senate. All right, that's Parliament. So that's a little history for y'all who think that we're independent. Our Parliament is the Queen, the Lower House, and the Senate. That's our Parliament. This is why I don't celebrate independence. But that's another story for another day. Their job is legislation. Now, the executive, and that means just passing laws, the executive's job, and stay tuned, we got some more information to drop in a second. The executive's job, their job is policy. Their job is not to run the ministries. It's policies, passing on the policies. The ministries are supposed to be run by directors and permanent secretaries. That's who run the ministries. All right? So this is some people saying that we're getting hit on some of our internet sites. Remember, you can still go to YouTube. You can still go to all manner of places. We're on a lot of, look at the scroll at the bottom and you see all the places that we are. All right. We have a lot of people. We have thousands of people on here right now. So on the place you're watching, you may see hundreds, but there's all the platforms together. There's thousands of people on here right now. All right. So that's the job of government. We have permanent secretaries and others who are already running the government. All we have to do is get them out of the way, get the politicians out of the way and let our professionals run these ministries. They're messing it up. The director of immigration knows how to deal with immigration. Get out of her way. Let her do her job. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is an official government document. This is an official government document from the Director of Immigration, to the government of this country. We're going to release this. Now, there's a couple more things we need to touch on. All right? Firstly, immigration was prevented from processing the Chinese that they arrested at the Hilton. So immigration has no idea who these persons were. That's problem number one. Number two, Bell said that the matter was expeditiously cured the following day. The problem with that is that it was impossible because immigration did not know who they were. They could not be cured. And immigration officials have no idea of this being cured, and that they feel that these people disappeared in the night, smuggled. Their organs are probably being sold at this time, or they're probably hostage somewhere on a daily basis and sold. There are more slaves today than there were at any point in human history. There's a movie at the movie theaters right now that I encourage all of you to watch. It's called The Sound of Freedom. Everyone go and watch that movie. It's talking about human trafficking. It's a true story about an agent who quit his job in order to save children. It is real. It's been happening. The Bahamas, a very convenient place to aid this in happening, especially when you have a corrupt government like the PLP aiding and abetting these kinds of actions. Next, immigration was concerned that the Chinese might have been victims of human trafficking in persons and might have been smuggled to the Bahamas for the purpose of trafficking. This is the information that immigration has given to me. They were concerned that a person that smuggled to the Bahamas for the purpose of trafficking, and the serious concerns were expressed by Immigration Director in written communication to the Permanent Secretary. The Immigration Director took exception to the interference by Bell, which she said was continuous. This is stuff they wanted me to say. Immigration officers were demoralized as they were not allowed to do their job as mandated. And that they should have been, the Chinese should have been taken into custody. That they don't know the identities of these people who may now be gone forever. That is their major concern. Ladies and gentlemen, the Progressive Liberal Party not only must fire Keith Bell, step down and call an election now. There may be a young man or young woman from another country, and so you might say it's nothing to do with us, we don't care, who does not know where help is coming from and is in some cheesy room somewhere while some wealthy person is raping him and he cannot escape. And this may have been aided by our leaders. Letters need to be written about this incident to the United Nations, to the U.S. Congress, to the U.S. Senate. The young lady that was cooperating with immigration officers may be in some basement somewhere right now, or in some bunk bed waiting for them to call her name and tell her to put on this dress and put on this makeup. And some drunken rich person is going to come for you. And our corrupt, crooked government, how many times do we have to be embarrassed internationally, especially when this PLP is in power? Ladies and gentlemen, some of this information, of course, we have the documents. Some of this information we saw Michael Pintar talked about, but we're going to release the information. I don't understand why they're holding on to stuff. And I think it's because of the nationality of the people involved. Pintar seems to be favoring them, afraid to touch them. Well, these work permits that happen in a very irregular way. In my opinion, unlawful and illegal, like Keith Bell did. The first one was a work permit situation, and the name is Chwazi Montenat. As we do this, I think we need to put this on the screen so y'all can get the proper spelling. So if you're doing research and so the government can know, we know what we're talking about. All right. So the first name, let me put the spelling up there for you. That's make sure that's spelled correctly. We get the last name, Montenat. Okay. Fazi Montenat. That's the first name. So while that's up there on the screen, Strazi, I know I'm not pronouncing it right, Montenat. This person, work permit had expired in 2019. They were arrested, and no application for renewal was submitted at the time of arrest. No application for renewal was submitted at the time of arrest. Arrangements made for deportation along with the child. So they made arrangements to deport this woman along with the child. All right? Instructions were given not to deport. All right? And these instructions, they're saying, came down from the minister. Instructions were given not to report, and that's immigration person's allegations. Application for renewal was submitted after arrest and detention. I don't know in which world that happens. So after they arrested this woman and the child, an application was submitted. The work permit was allegedly approved for 2022 to 2023, and outstanding fees were due for a previous period were waived. So whatever work permit this person owed was waived. When PLP in power, anything goes. It was waived. I don't see anywhere in the law that allows that. Next name. Let's get this next name up here. The next person is Roseanne Merville. Roseanne Merville. We don't have time to be sugarcoating and powder puffing and covering up information. If the government has a problem with me revealing what's going on in this country, y'all know what to do, lock me up. Nelson Mandela me. I good for another 27 years. Y'all know what to do. But y'all are going to get this country right. We're going to stand up and fight for this. We're not letting you sell this country out. Roseanne Merville. Oh, and I want you to see that work permit was issued 2022, 2023. Remember, the government said they weren't issuing any Haitian work permits. Now, this is another one. This is Roseanne Merville. Permit to reside. Remember this new thing they started talking about? Permit to reside. Okay. Reportedly approved after conviction in court for overstaying and was scheduled to be deported. Roseanne Merville was reportedly approved after conviction in court. Keith Bell. Next name, Rose Michelle June. Rose Michelle June. That's it. Rose Michelle June. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. It's a work permit situation. Scheduled for deportation. All right? And I believe that this is the one who was pulled off of the airplane. Scheduled for deportation. Reportedly approved for permit while detained at the detention center. lock up at the detention center and somehow got a work permit only in the Commonwealth of Narnia. There's another one. Put the names up there so y'all can do your research. Do you know? I don't know how to pronounce this. Do you know? Oh, do you know? That's the name. Do you know? Do you know Dulce? Dulce. Dulce, I don't know. The work permit issue was intercepted on boat, and please share, please share the live, all right? Please share. They were intercepted on boat attempting to smuggle to the U.S. They were charged and convicted. They were put on the restricted list, on the block list, and allegedly, while on the block list, they were approved for a work permit. Wow. While on the block list, ladies and gentlemen. There's another person. Zine. That's how I assume you pronounce it. Zine. The work permit issue. Reportedly approved for a work permit again while at the detention center. There's more information on each of these. So I guess we can start dropping those at some point. All right, another approved work permit while at the detention center. And the last one we're going to release. We have a long list. Just want to make sure I got the spelling right. Ferdinand. I think that's correct. Merklin Ferdinand, work permit, arrested by immigration officers on 11 October 2022 for overstaying, was deported on the 16th of October 2022. Application was submitted on the 13th of October 2022 while detained at the detention center, allegedly approved for work permit the day of or after being deported. Wake up, Bahamas. So the question for all Bahamians is, where do we go from here? What do we do? We are calling that man must be fired immediately. We need to go back to election. PLP needs to resign. Chester Cooper needs to resign immediately. Chester Cooper needs to resign. Keith Bell will need to be fired. Keith Bell needs to be fired. I'm opening the phone lines. 803-5995 is the number. 803-5995. How do you feel about some of the things you heard? We're going to hold on to some and wait to see Keith Bell's response. Now, Keith Bell said that he's going to talk on Wednesday. He needs to answer to all of these things. We called names. Keith Bell, you need to explain each one of these instances and how you were involved. We didn't talk about scenarios. We called names. Were you involved in these situations that is being alleged by persons at the department? (803-5995). There we go. You have to WhatsApp call. I'm sorry. We have the WhatsApp call, all right? So only WhatsApp calls we can accept. Just save my number on WhatsApp and just call. Good evening, you're live.
Good evening, Mr. President.
How are you?
You know, I am fine. Listening to you, it tells me that immigration officers from the director goes down, want to do their job, are prepared to do their jobs, but they're being prevented from doing their jobs because of the Minister of Immigration, who I never believe would he say he's a liar, gutless, witless man. He needs to do his job or be fired.
But let me make sure you understand something. This interference didn't just start under the PLP.
Thank you.
Because this same deputy director who is on leave now, she was treated in similar ways by the FNM, Brent Simonet, etc. This didn't just start. Brent Simonet, you did the same. The FNM did the same. They interfered. And anyone who speaks out against them, it's the same thing. I don't want Pintard to come with this disingenuous nonsense. Because the FNM did the same thing when they were in power. Continue, ma'am.
All of them are disingenuous because it's big business. It's money behind it. And guess what? They're not getting paid in front of me and you. They're getting it underneath the table, back pocketing, side showing. They're getting paid. It's big business. That's not the only thing I wanted to say. These people need to be fired. Every one of them in Parliament are protecting each other. And they're not going to walk away. They're not going to step down. We have to demand that they leave. We have to stand up and demand that we will not back down at all in this fight. Because they are doing everything. A lot of things we don't see, And guess what? It happened right under the nose of the American Embassy crossroad. But I don't want you to sleep on the American Embassy or the Americans. They mightn't say nothing, but they're watching.
Yes.
They keep it record. So let them stay right there and think America is their friend. They're pushing their agenda on the Bahamian government, and the Bahamian government is pushing their agenda on the Bahamian people. Even with the vaccines, they are being paid to kill us. So y'all Bahamian people say, "Oh, it ain't affecting me. I have my job. Oh, I'm not in no trouble, or my job is not being threatened." Guess what? Don't think that. Because next it's coming at your door.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are dying in our streets. I wonder if you all see that. And they don't report everything on the news,
No.
I want people to know that too. A lot of things they keep hidden from the public because they are scared of how the public will act.
Yeah.
And the public will act.
It'll make them look like a failure.
So people wake up.
All right, ma'am.
My child. They saying it's not their child today, but guess what? When they can knock at your door, you can want people to be with you, right? So you all got to start getting on board with the COI, and let's get these people out because they don't care about us.
Amen.
We are Bahamians, and let's stick together.
Thank you. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have to take action. We're going to have to file a judicial review, and so we have to raise money in order to do this. This is not going, court matters are not cheap. I hate raising money. We hate raising money, but we got to take action. All right, Pintard is talking about going and standing up on the steps of Parliament when he has access in Parliament. They have access to form select committees. They have access to file for commissions of inquiry. They're not doing this stuff. They're not fighting for the immigration issues in this problem. They are trying to get attention to make it look like they're doing something. Well, we're going to have to actually do something. We're going to have to file a judicial review if that's what you want. And you're going to know that that is what you want by your support. And so we're going to have to raise funds. And there's a couple of ways that you can support what's going on. And that is that you can go directly to our website, and that's the coalitionofindependent.com. Go right to our website, and right on the front page of the website, we have it set up with the first thing that you're going to see. In fact, let me where are we? Let me pull this up. Let me pull this up for you. So you can see exactly where you need to go on the website. We have to do this. It's going to take your assistance in order to get this done. It's just simple as that. All right. If you want it done, then let's get it done. If not, then let them continue to rape and rob us. All right. And as simple as this, we're going to file a judicial review based on some known cases that we have. So this is not a fishing expedition. We know the cases. We're going to subpoena other documents that we don't have, and we're going to subpoena those immigration officers, etc., so that they can testify freely, because they were subpoenaed by the court and they have to be honest. And so if you go to our website, Coalition of Independence.com, right here, it says that you can pay those online, or you can donate. You can click here to donate, and that's gonna go through Suncash, or you can donate by GoFundMe. Either one of these methods you can use in order to donate GoFundMe, or you can get in contact with myself. You can get in contact with our chairman, Ms. Green, or to our office, and you can go there to donate. Make sure you state that the donation is for the judicial review against the government. We're going to force their hands. Ladies and gentlemen, we must hands. You know, when the Haitians wanted to stop the government from doing what was their right and breaking down their shanty down, they put together their money, $2,000 each, we're told. 177 of them put together $2,000 each to give to Fred Smith and Michael Pintard them in order to fight their cause. All right? And so do you think that Pintard, who was fighting for them, is now going to fight against them now? You think so? No. No. And that's why we're not standing for that. And so if you're able to, start now. Go to our website, or go to, and in the notes, you can say it's for the court case or for judicial review, if you remember that term. Or you can go to GoFundMe and do the same thing and comment that this is for the judicial review. All right? So these court case takes thousands of dollars, or lots of money. We are going to do this. We're going to make this happen. So please donate to make this happen. All right? Please donate in order to make this happen. The GoFundMe should be the Coalition of Independence GoFundMe. Make sure when you look at the GoFundMe that is the Coalition of Independence GoFundMe, and you will be able to donate to the cause. All right, 803-5995 is the number. 803-5995 is the number. I see someone put a GoFundMe up there. I'm not sure if that is a GoFundMe. Let me put another link, a QR code. I left it up there. Let me put another link up there for you. So you can go to the exact place. I think this is one of them here. Yeah, just one of them. You can scan that QR code, and you can be able to do it. I see a link in the chat right now. There's another one. That's right there. Yeah, that's the GoFundMe. This is the GoFundMe one if you want to. Or you can go to this one, and that will be directly here in the Bahamas. So either one of those ones you can go to, and you can start donating now. You can click on those now. So if you can get the GoFundMe link, so we can put that up there, because I see other stuff going up there. All right. So all right. So we'll put the link up, so that you can either scan the code. We'll put the link so you can go there, or just go to our website, and that's a simple way. Coalition of Independence, and that's spelled with a T-S, not a C-E. Coalition of Independence.com. All right, Coalition of Independence.com. 803-5995 is the number. You can call in 803-5995. We need real change in this country. We don't need fake change. We don't need politicians pretending that they care about the immigration problem, that they were part of causing the problem. We need real solutions to these problems. All right. So we're going to file a judicial review in the coming weeks against the government, and so we're going to need your assistance with. So please, let's make that happen. You can also come to our office directly and donate whatever you can. We have it's $5, $500, whatever it is, but we are going to sue the pants off of this government. All right. They're going to have the explain to us exactly what's going on. All right? 803-5995. Okay. Good afternoon, live.
Good afternoon, President Bean. How you doing?
I'm awesome.
Wonderful. This is Marvin Johnson, the GNN. Listen, I will donate next month when I get my money to go.
Mm-hmm.
But I was figuring that everyone saving, so I will donate to that cause too. But Lincoln, man, you might as well go in the House of Assembly this week and take your seat. Because guess what? I was waiting on this to come to see what kind of bomb you was going to drop. Whether it was going to be a Patriot or this cut, but that's a nuclear bomb what you dropped today.
Yeah.
There is no way, Lincoln, the Progressive Liberal Party, Philip Graham Davis and them can get out of that. No way. Especially with that memo coming from the Director of Immigration. You understand?
Yeah.
You see, old people always tell you, President be careful the people's faces you pass when you go in them. Because when you walk on them and you spit on them and you treat them like that, one day you gotta come back down and face them people. You understand me? And that is what is happening right now. Lincoln, let me tell you something. Based on what I hear and what you use, black and white evidence and what the phone call, that construction, the point has been finished a long time.
Yeah.
And even if the point wasn't finished, 4 o'clock, construction workers get off. You hear me? 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
So, because the body boys been using that place under there for a couple of years now for our girls, so I know the point finished.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, to bring in 65 workers in there at night, immigration, they'll say they ain't know nothing about that. Tell you something, Lincoln, man. I ain't never called it, but I've been in high school and I got called it that. And they disappear. That amounts to human trafficking.
Yes.
I don't care how you spend that.
Yes.
If they disappear and the director say we don't know, have no paperwork on these people, and these people disappear, Philip Graham Davis tell me to come out the house, tell me ASAP tomorrow night. I gone.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for your call, man. You're right. The whole government needs to stand down. So what we have to do, like I said, we want to do more than just go on the street and protest. I call all of you and say, let's go hit the street tomorrow. We want to put them in court and then take it back to the street. Let's deal with let's deal with them in the courts. Let's go after them. Let's make sure they do what we say. Let's see, going to them and begging them to do the right thing is one thing. We're going to use the sword of the law against them. We need you to stand with us on that. Stand with us on that. Let's take them to court. And someone says, okay, but you're going before the same judges. We'll take it as far as the Privy Council. Because they cannot justify the things that they've been doing. We're going to force them out. The Privy Council, you can come to them with this stuff that looks like human trafficking and think they're going to favor you. That's a different story over there. You're going to pay them off. You're going to bribe them. You might appoint judges here. You're going to appoint them. They don't care about your little politics. We got to stand up. I see 9 people have scanned the QR code. They keep toggling between the one for the Bahamas and the one for GoFundMe. But you can make your choice which one. I put the one for Bahamas back up now. Let's listen to Keith Bell again on his little funny explanation. And then compare that to what you heard him say to that woman.
In January of this year, the Department of Immigration, as part of its ongoing efforts to ensure compliance with our immigration laws, discovered a number of irregularities with the status of workers at the British Colonial Hilton construction site. Whilst the irregularities required immediate action, it was determined that given all of the circumstances, taking the persons at the detention center was unnecessary. It is important to note that the employer, as with almost every other major hotel redevelopment, has a heads of agreement with the government of the Bahamas to permit the temporary importation of foreign construction workers. Secondly, the irregularities found at the site could and were expeditiously cured by the employer.
Was it not your immigration department that rounded them up? Was it not your immigration department that rounded them up? Minister, was it not your immigration department that rounded them up yesterday? Who was it within your department?
You suspended several immigration officers to facilitate the use of the Chinese.
Who was it in your department? Who was it in your department that rounded them up?
Mr. Bell, answer the question.
Immigration officers.
Did you suspend the immigration officers?
No, I didn't.
So you can, that's on the record?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely. In January of this year,
So this
the Department of
man is
Immigration,
talking about
as part of
irregularities.
its ongoing efforts to ensure
It's not
compliance with
irregularities.
immigration laws, discovered
That's
a number of
criminal activity.
irregularities with the status
The
of
memo from
undiscovered
immigration said that these
site.
persons, there was
Whilst the
no record of them
irregularities
entering this country,
required
and they do
immediate
not
action.
know how they entered this country. They were here illegally. This was not about a work permit situation. They were being housed there. For those of you just tuned in, the memo that I'm going to release as soon as this live is finished. They were being housed. They weren't working. And we're told that there were also females, including one who was doing the talking. They have to explain all of this. We need our Freedom of Information Act. This PLP government is a criminal organization. People smuggling, drug smuggling is happening heavily right now. Right now as we speak. Crime is out of control. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for tuning in. It's been a pleasure serving you. Of course, the attacks are going to come. I see 13 of you have scanned. Of course, you may be on the device that you need to scan, so I understand that. So mostly it's people watching on YouTube who are scanning, watching YouTube on their TV. But you can go afterwards and scan from another device. Or just go to our website and just click on donate. Or you can just donate by Suncash or GoFundMe. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to save our country. We're taking this to another level. We've gone in writing to the Prime Minister's office. We've taken the people there. I want you to understand that the Free National Movement is disingenuous with this because they have no interest in fighting this immigration issue. You hear not a word from them about the legal shanty towns, not a word from them about the proliferation of these illegals in our country. But all of a sudden, they want to attack Keith Bell. Good. We're going to help you attacking him, and we thank you for attacking him. But we're not fools. We know that when you get in, you will do the same thing because the same things happened under your watch. Let me remind you that a Chinese vessel was caught with a large amount of cocaine in our country under the Free National Movement. And they came back to us, this Minis and Pinta them. They came back and said, oh, we couldn't connect the drugs to any particular person on the boat, so we let the whole boat go. Remember that? This isn't a PLP thing. This is endemic with the PLP and the F&M. And so will I stand with Pintard? No, because Pintard is not standing. Pintard is putting on a show. This is a new generation. We smarter than that. The F&M was a part of our immigration problem. What you heard Joan Sawyer talking about at the beginning of this conversation, she was complaining about the slackness with immigration in the F&M. If you just tuned in, go listen to Joan Sawyer at the beginning of this show. Dame Joan Sawyer. That wasn't the PLP she was talking about. That was Pintard and Menace. Ladies and gentlemen, you decide. I see 18 people have scanned so far. Thank you. You decide if we're going to fight this or if we're going to fight this. If we don't have the funding, we're going to focus on some other things. But we got to get this done. No, we don't have the funding of the F&M and the PLP because they've been raping and robbing this country for 50 years. We are going to take this country and give it back to the Bahamian people. All of this that is happening is exactly why we want to take power away from the politicians, power away from the Prime Minister and the members of Parliament. And our plan for good governance is what's going to do that. It's also on our website. Go look at it. This is why we're going to have island states. This is why we're going to have municipal government, city government, to take power away from these politicians. Their job will be to legislate in the House, not to fix potholes, not to fix roads. You will have a district, for example, South Beach, Pinewood, Nassau Village, Bamboo Town. That's one area. You will be a district, a city. And I guarantee you, if y'all was a city, we wouldn't have no flooding problem in the South. You know why? Because y'all would have focused on that. Y'all have your own budget, not this local government foolishness that we do. Your own budget, you're the council, you vote for what is supposed to be done, and you have a mayor who's supposed to do his job, and if he don't do his job, he is fired. And he can be fired by the government or by the council. Do you see the difference? We are taking power away. Someone says, oh, Lincoln, them just want power. No, we want to give the power to the people. You see? And so when your potholes are not fixed in your community, you don't blame the government, you blame you. Because you have your budget, you determine what you do. So if Pinewood has a flooding problem, the Pinewood people is responsible. You see how now you will have the power to do what you want with your own budget? You see? If Moores Island is a fishing community, they need a dock. They still need a dock. But they won't come there and put speed bumps. Nobody. They need a clinic. If the people can determine what they do, then there's power to the people. This is what we want, Bahamas. We, the COI, want to give the power to you. No more of the politicians raping and robbing and stealing. We're giving it to you. There are qualified Bahamians all over the world right now who are ready to come home and take this country to the next level. Someone say, you need qualified candidates. No, we need qualified people in government to do the work. We need the people in the House of Assembly to empower them, who will not sell out, who will say, listen, you professionals in health, you go in the Ministry of Health. We need a hospital, eh? The policy is we want to build a health city. Let's hire the professionals. Oh, we got a Bahamian who's running this hospital in South Florida. We actually do. Come home, eh? We got another Bahamian who's running a hospital in Oklahoma. Come home. Let's build our health city here. We're going to pay you handsomely because you're a Bahamian. America won't be able to compete with us. And we're going to get out of your way. Do you see the difference? Come on, Bahamas. Come on. Don't get distracted. Now, since we have dropped this information, the attacks are going to come against me, Maria, the COI, more and more lies. These stuff is going to happen. Now, before we go, I want you to understand and remember announcement. We are having a crab fest. We're having a crab fest in Grand Bahama on the weekend on Saturday. We're having a crab fest. Please go out and support. You got to support the movement. Everyone is saying you need to do this, need to do that. Well, you got to do your part too. There's a crab fest that's happening on Grand Bahama. Also in Eleuthera. We are coming to Eleuthera this weekend. We have a town hall meeting in Eleuthera. Do you have the information? Town hall meeting in Eleuthera this Saturday. It's in Eleuthera this Saturday. Is it 6 p.m. or 7? It's 6 p.m. on Saturday. Do you remember which school it is? Say again? Oh, it's at the Workers' House. I'm sorry. It's at the Workers' House in Eleuthera at 6 p.m. on Saturday. So make sure everyone in Eleuthera, if you have family and friends in Eleuthera, tell them to come out and hear our plans for Eleuthera, hear our plans for the country. I love it. Carrying a contingent over there, so they're going to hear from some of our shadow ministers. They're going to hear from some of our executives. And so Eleuthera, we are coming. We are ready. All right? We are going to take this country one island at a time. And so someone says, how are you going to win the family island? They're blocking you from the media. We're going to go to the family island. That's what we've been doing, and that's what we're going to continue to do. Take this quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back and continue.
Catch the crab, boy. Catch the crab, boy. Yeah, boy, you better catch all them crab, because we're going to need them for the Coalition of Independent Crab Fest. They're going to be held on the 29th of July from 12 noon to 5 p.m. to the Niles Grace Plaza. Here's where you're going to have. You're going to have your crab soup, and in that you're going to have your light feathery dumplings. You're going to have your salt beef, your ham, and your conch. And the main ingredient, the crabs. You're going to also have some potato and cassava in that. That's going to be $15. Then you're going to have your crab and rice with chicken and 2 sides, or some crab and dough. They're going to be $12. Then you're going to have your nice fried fish, crab and rice, 2 sides. That's $15. But listen, ma'am, call the number now, 438-8355. 438-8355. Get your tickets, because you don't want to miss out on these mouth-watering dishes, you know. Catch the crab, boy. Catch the crab, boy. I can see you then.
So just a little commercial break for all of you ladies and gentlemen. Please go out and support. If you're in Grand Bahama, we're going to take Grand Bahama. We are looking to take 10 seats on the Family Island. We're looking to take 10 seats on the Family Island. We're looking to sweep Grand Bahama, all 5 of them. All 5 seats in Grand Bahama, that is what we're looking to sweep. All of them. We don't think that any sensible human being in Grand Bahama, after experiencing the sufferation under the FNM and PLP, would vote for those people. I cannot see that. We need new vision in Grand Bahama. And so we're looking to sweep the 5 seats in Grand Bahama. All right? We have them in our books. We're looking to sweep the 2 seats in Abaco. We don't see anybody in Abaco voting PLP or FNM. That would be insane. And so we're looking to take Abaco by storm. That's 7 seats. We're looking to take Abaco by storm. We're looking to take 1 seat, at least, in Andros. All right, whether it's north or south. We're looking to take a seat in Andros from them. All right. We're also looking to sweep Eleuthera, north and south. That's 10 seats so far. We're also looking to take Michael from them. These seats right here, we have already put in our winning column. We're going after them heavily. That's 10. We only need 20 in total to win. All right? We're looking to take this government. We don't want to have a situation where we have 19 seats, the FNM have 10, and the PLP have 10, because they are going to join together, because the FNM and PLP are 1. All right? We need to take the majority. All right? And so we need 20 to win. We're looking to get 10 in the Family Island, and we're looking to get the rest here. All right? All right. Someone asked me if the judicial review is separate from the Stop the Invasion campaign. I'm not sure what is called Stop the Invasion campaign, but yes, it is. This judicial review, we're filing a specific judicial review that's focusing on the actions that's happening in the immigration office right now. We're not doing a general judicial review to say stop giving all citizenships, or that all citizenships from 50 years are null and void. All right. That is important to happen if persons want to do that. But we have specific evidence of skullduggery that went down, and judicial reviews can focus on specific instances. And so that's what we're doing, all right? So we need your help in order to get that done. So we want to file a judicial review against Keith Bell and the PLP government specifically, all right, for some of these instances that we just named, where work permits were given out, instances where citizenship were given out, and instances where the director is being overrun or being given orders. And we now have evidence of that with the memo, and that is ultra-virus. And so judicial review don't determine whether something is right or wrong. They don't determine right or wrong. Or just research on judicial reviews. They determine whether the actions was lawful or not, meaning ultra-virus or not, whether the action of the government or the official was within the law or not. Nothing that we've explained or shown you so far was within the law. All right? And so we have plenty grounds for judicial review, and we are going to stop them. We're going to force them, try to get an injunction to stop them from giving out work permits to Haiti because of all this conduct that's been going on, because the government lied and said that they had stopped giving out work permits to Haiti when they continued to do so. And so we are going to fight them in the courts, and we're going to need you to have to do that. All right? We see that 30 persons have scanned so far. We need more of you to go there. We got to make this happen. Y'all, let's take this by storm. I'll put up that's the local one again. I'll put up the GoFundMe again. So either one of these that you're comfortable with, if you're comfortable with using your card on GoFundMe, that doesn't have issues, then so be it. If you're comfortable with using your card with Sun Cash, then you can also do that. All right? So either one of those you can take advantage of. All right? So this is the effort of the Bahamian people that we're going to file a judicial review right now for these specific incidents. All right? Let me look at some of your questions. We got 5 more minutes. Let me look at some of your questions before I go. Mr. Bain, thank you for educating the public. Change is here. Yes, thank you so much. Y'all stay focused. Don't be fooled by these politicians and their little tricks, making it seem like they care so much all of a sudden. No, they don't. They still giving work permits in Haiti. Yes, they are. And in fact, people at the council in Haiti are giving us information. Yes, I did say because I didn't got the information. They are open in Haiti, giving out, doing everything. Corruption is continuing. We get to that another time. Okay, we have 3 more people scanned. So we got 33 people scanned so far. All right, just trying to look for your comments or questions. Anyone have any questions? Somebody, can you please share the GoFundMe link here? Yeah, that's what we just did. So you put it off and do it again. So you're going to see it. That's it there. Some people don't know how to scan. We understand that. So you can just click on the link. So there it is right there. You see it right there. Just click on that link, and that'll take you to the GoFundMe. All right? That'll take you straight to the GoFundMe. The link you see with my name, the coalition name, and Bahamian Evolution name right there. And so no matter which page you're on, just click on that link. All right? The one that just popped up. Can we push for a new register? We are not in the government. And so there's some people concerned about certain things. They're saying, you can do this, you can't make it do anything. What you need to do is overwhelm them so that their cheating won't work. They can only cheat so much. They cheat the PLP cheated the F them in 1987. All right? Just like the PLP was cheated in 1962. But the FDM had to come back in 92 and beat them so bad that the cheating didn't work. And that's what we got to do. We got to flood them. If you are a real Bahamian and you want to benefit from your country, you want to be put first in your country, you should be supporting the Coalition of Independence. How long is the work permit good for? 1 year. All right, 1 year. What do we need to do to call a re-election? There's a couple of things you can do. You can hit the streets in so much numbers that the government is forced to step down. That's one way. In fact, all the members of parliament have to stand down, or the prime minister has to call for that election. 37 of you now have scanned the QR code. Thank you so much. Let's get this done. That's the GoFundMe one that's up now. All right. All right. So someone said to scan, just turn your phone camera on and put it over to click the link. All right. So, I should have explained that. Yeah, that's what's in In studio, they had written that for me, that I should have explained that to y'all. So if you have two devices, one that you watched it on and another device, just take the device you're not watching it on, turn your camera on and put it over, and then it's going to bring up the link and you just click on it right there. All right. So thank you for that in studio. I appreciate that. I should explain that probably. Got so much on my mind. But ladies and gentlemen, it's time to fight. It's time to fight. All right. So Pintad, y'all go have fun pretending that y'all serious about this. We're gonna take this to the next level. Remember, the opposition has many things that they can do, and they're not doing any of it. None of it. They're pretending that their hands are tied. Their hands are not tied. But this is why they're afraid. Pinewood Gardens, put Lincoln being in the House of Assembly and watch the change. They are terrified of that because they know that we know what to do. They know. Pinewood, let's do this time. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all. We've done 2 hours solid. Please share the live, talk to your family, screenshots the part that you need to screenshot and send it out. The revolution is not going to happen because of anything that we did. It's going to happen because of what you did, because you go there and spread the message. That's how this is going to get out. All right. So the mainstream media is going to focus on Pintad. They're not going to put us in the mainstream media. And so you know why? Because they want to control the narrative and they don't want the real truth out there. So you have to spread the message to your family and friends. There's tens of thousands of you. Spread the word, get the message out there. All right. So thank you all for joining us. We got a lot more to talk about. We release some more on stuff on Tuesday. Make sure you are here Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eleuthero, we coming. Eleuthero, make sure you are there at 6 p.m. on Saturday. We're going to be at the workers' house, the workers' hall. Make sure you are there at 6 p.m. on Saturday at the workers' hall. Eleuthero, come and see me, come and meet me, shake my hand, hear about real vision for this country. We got a vision for Eleuthero. First item in the connecting with Providence is Eleuthero. Yeah, we got vision for Eleuthero. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Go and enjoy your Crab Fest. And make sure you come into the office. The office is open Tuesday to Friday from 11 to 5. Tuesday to Friday from 11 to 5. All right. So make sure you come in and you support, you pay your dues, you support, you donate, or just go online. One click, you can get this done. All right. Let's keep it rolling so we can get this done. Yeah. Even the so-called old parties, the old Tiefin parties, the PLP and FNM, they have to raise money. That's how it works. So thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you. We're going to be the change this country needs to see, and we're going to bring the change this country needs to see. Now, we're going to release these documents as soon as this live is finished. So just give me a minute. Don't call me yet. We're going to release it in our coalition WhatsApp group, and we expect you to share the rest of the country. And we're going to release the audio so that everyone can hear the voice of that demon selling this country out. He's not alone. He's doing it on behalf of the Prime Minister of this country, who gave a vow to serve the Haitian people. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. See you on Tuesday at 8 o'clock in Eleuthero. See you on Saturday at 6 p.m. Workers Hall.
Let me just say that I have always been a part of this community. And there's no accident I know how to do all the dancing. Because I always be and share with you. Because you are me and I am you. And I'll be here with you always. And those who knew me from the past and know me now, they always knew that I was there and always been there for you. I don't call you all, no, you all are not Haitians, Bahamians. You are Bahamian, and your origin is Haitian. Mine too, and many of us. We have to stay apart for now so we can be together later. In on now. Entire PLP.
Are you all ready and willing to go?
Est-ce que nous tous préparons pour le bac à Haïti? Non. Pays va gagner la donne. Président le problème pays mettez-nous dehors. Pas de travail, pas de rien. Pas de manger, pas de boire.